Where was Noah and his ark to rescue the Ice Age gang from the flood when they needed him? Ice Age 2, The Meltdown, directed by Kalosa Sandana, not by Chris Wedge this time, and is the second installment in the Ice Age franchise, as well as the 2006 sequel to Blue Skies, a hit back in 2002, Ice Age. So Ice Age 2 The Meltdown tells the story taking place after the events of its predecessor, where our favourite Sub-Zero heroes and Scrats have migrated to a valley during a period of global warming, when Scrats unintentionally triggers a flood apocalypse. So the only option is to run to the end of the valley to find this boat which can rescue them from the floods. During this journey, Manny finds out he is not the last of his kind, as he so thought, and meets another female mammoth, Ellie, voiced by Queen Latifah, and her two possum brothers, Crash and Ezzy. The only thing is, she's possessed into thinking she's a possum, so it's up to Manny to convince her she's a mammoth if he has any hope of starting a future with her. Though the first Ice Age only made a tiny 380 million financially, it was still highly regarded enough by moviegoers to convince Blue Sky to make Ice Age a franchise. And it worked in Blue Sky's favour, because this movie grossed twice as much as its predecessor, and though The Meltdown is indeed a step down from its predecessor, at least I can say it's not a piece of shit like a Collision Course, and it's a satisfactory sequel, one of the stronger ones for sure. This is the Ice Age movie me and my sister have the most nostalgia for, as we entered this competition called Sub-Zero Heroes, where we both won Ice Age action figures. I won a Manny figure, she won a Diego figure, as Diego's her favourite. I even had the Game Boy game of this movie. I mean, the final level of the game is so freaking hard. I cannot complete it, but a review of the game for another day. Yes, this movie does lack the emotional impact of the first Ice Age, and is not nearly as bold as it is more aimed for the younger fan base of the series. But at least you can see Blue Sky tried with The Meltdown, and the efforts does go to show. The one thing this sequel does improve over the first is bringing in a primary female character in the form of Ellie. Ellie is, to quote Sis, tons of fun. The exact opposite of Manny, who's held back and shy and awkward. I mean Ellie. She has a far more confidence, and so in a way, Sid's right. She completes him. It's beautiful to see Manny get another chance of happiness after what he went through in the first film. He finally gets to let go of the past and have a future. Ellie having the mindset of a possum just makes her more adorable and naive, and Eddie and Crash are actually funny, and Eddie and Crash are actually entertaining and extremely likable in this movie. I mean, being the most awesome brothers that's Ellie, their huge sister, could ever wish for. Goodness knows how Ellie manages to sleep upside down without breaking a tree when she sleeps like a possum, but Eddie and Crash actually contribute to saving the day in the climax. So when they inform Manny that Ellie's trapped in the cave and try and save Sid, this was before they would get unbearable in the later sequels. And Queen Latifah is a legit underrated actress, and her comforting voice just makes you fall in love with Ellie more. And Ellie's backstory, where she was taken in by a possum family, it isn't anywhere near as traumatic as Manny's backstory, but it's still helps you realize why she would be convinced she's a oversized possum. And the Manny and Ellie romance actually takes its time to happen. I mean, she is like when Manny suggests saving the species. I'm only a mammoth for 5 minutes and you're hitting on me? Well, I've got news for you. You're not saving the species tonight or any other night. But Manny realizes he doesn't have to just be with her, to continue the mammoth species. He can be with her. He can just be with her for love and because he wants to. And I'm so glad that Ellie and Manny didn't go off with the mammoth herd at the end and stuck with Sid and Diego. Everything with Ellie was the best part of Manny's storyline in this movie. The weaker side of Manny's storyline is Manny's ongoing concern that he may be the last mammoth in existence, which is a pointless subplot. It's never brought up again in any of the later sequels, or you only needed Manny trying to fall in love with Ellie for conflict. That was it. And though Diego's conflict about him overcoming his water phobia was decent, because of course he's just a pussycat at heart and cats hate water. But Sis is awesome in this movie. I mean, love everything with him, how he's trying to earn his herd's respect as he made it in the first place. And without him, Manny and Diego may not have overcome their worries at the end, because he teaches Diego how to kick water's butt, and he helps Manny, move on from the past and start afresh with Ellie. And the mini sloth scene may be the number one Sid scene in the movie, where they all mimic Sid's movements and praise him as the Fire King. So as well as Manny meeting more of his kind, Sid gets to meet more of his, and the mini sloth song in the end credits, while far from the best end credit Ice Age song, is still funky to listen to. But what about our favourite saber-toothed squirrel, Scratzer, the one who triggers the flood to begin with? If you thought he was nutty in the first movie, he's twice as nutty here, where he goes all kung fu mode on the piranhas to protect his acorn, and when he's in nut heaven, he's going to the big glowing acorn, but Sid revives him by giving him the kiss of life, pissing him off. And the animation does look terrific and more detailed than that of the first movie. I mean, in 4 years, technology did take quite a leap. John Powell, a legendary composer of the epic How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, is composing the score this time round, and I'm like, Blue Sky, you did good picking him, because the return of the mammoth score when the mammoth herder comes back in the aftermath of the flood may be the most astonishing scene in the movie, and the music is the best part. Like I said, this is nowhere close to being as perfect as the first Ice Age. So let's get into what Ice Age 2 does worse than the first. Well, for starters, the end of the world disaster plotline is not nearly as engaging or as endearing. The first movie is one of the greatest examples of less is more, and the less characters you have, the better. Whereas this movie tries to be bigger, better, more, and the plot just isn't a patch on its predecessor, and there are no scenes that get you that hit you emotionally like the cave scene at all. Some of the crude humor, it is pretty pathetic and inappropriate for a U-rated movie, especially from Eddie and Crash when they call Manny a pervert after he tried to hit on Ellie. I mean, sure, they're just protective brothers looking out for their big sis, but to say the word pervert in an Ice Age movie, I mean, is any kid going to get that? And the antagonists are a incredibly mixed bag. The sea monsters have absolutely no character. They just want to eat our heroes. That is it. That's all there is to them. Though the vultures were all right villains, they were more tolerable, and especially with their parody of a food, glorious food. Just picture a mammoth steak, fried, roasted, or stewed. I kind of would have preferred the vultures to be the lead antagonists than those prehistoric monsters, and they only appear when our characters are close to water, so there are long sections of the movie without them. And speaking of the humour being hit and miss, the worst joke was the fart joke when Manny thinks he hears another mammoth calling and rushes into the forest, but it turns out it's just a prehistoric horse farting into a log. What the hell, Blue Sky? So overall, while Ice Age 2, The Meltdown is not one of the greatest animated sequels ever made. It's no Toy Story 2, and certainly not on the same level as How to Train Your Dragon 2. And heck, it's not even my favourite Ice Age sequel. That one we'll get to later. But it's the second part I'm still glad we got, as it did bring in some awesome new characters to the crew. With 2006 being such a lackluster year for animated movies, Ice Age 2 The Meltdown is one that I don't mind sitting through. I give Ice Age 2 The Meltdown 3 stars out of 5. Good movie. So yeah, you're not gonna have a meltdown with this movie, unlike some of the other sequels. At least you'll have a solid laugh. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. What are your thoughts on Ice Age 2: The Meltdown? Are you with me in that it's inferior? It's an inferior sequel, but still good overall. Or is this actually your favourite Ice Age movie? I know some who call it the best, like a Black Critic Guy, for example. Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review Ice Age 3: Dawn of the Dinosaurs. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.